If you're finishing before you want to during sex, sometimes way before you want to, what I'm about to share could turn you from a 2-minute man into someone who lasts as long as you choose. And no, I'm not talking about numbing creams or thinking about waves flowing on a beach. Look, premature ejaculation affects nearly 1 in 3 men at some point in their lives. That's not some obscure condition. That's your mate at the pub, your coworker, probably half the guys watching this video right now. And here's what really pisses me off. Most advice out there is either totally useless or treats you like you're an idiot. Just relax, bro. Or, it's cool. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Dr. Obvious. Because nothing helps you relax more than knowing you've got about 30 seconds before it's game over, right? Today, I'm breaking down a method that urologists actually use in their clinics, but rarely talk about publicly. It's controversial because it goes against the typical take this pill approach. And the best part? You can start using it tonight. And drop a comment below. Even if it's just watching, the algorithm loves it and it helps other men find content that could genuinely change their sex lives. Quick reminder, this isn't medical advice, and this video is for educational purposes only. If you have concerns about premature ejaculation or any sexual health issue, speak to a qualified healthcare provider. What I'm sharing today is based on published research and interviews with urologists, but everyone's situation is different. Always consult your doctor before starting any action that affects your health. Right? Let's crack on. The problem. Here's what actually happens with premature ejaculation. Your body has a point of no return. Doctors call it the ejaculatory threshold. Once you cross that line, there's no stopping it. It's like when you're about to sneeze. You know that moment where you either will or you won't. Once you tip over, you're sneezing whether you like it or not. For most men with premature ejaculation, that threshold is way too sensitive. You're essentially starting at 80 out of 100, so it only takes a little bit of stimulation to hit 100 and finish. And here's the cruel part. The more you worry about it, the faster it happens. Performance anxiety literally makes you more sensitive. Your body floods with adrenaline, your pelvic muscles tense up, and you're basically trying to hold back a freight train with a paper cup. The standard advice? Desensitizing sprays, antidepressants that delay ejaculation as a side effect, or the stop-start technique where you stop every time you get close. Which, let's be honest, is about as sexy as filing your taxes. The controversial method. The big reveal. So what's this controversial method? It's called pelvic floor reverse training. And most guys are doing pelvic floor exercises completely wrong for premature ejaculation. Here's where it gets controversial. You've probably heard about Kegel exercises, right? Clenching your pelvic floor muscles like you're stopping the flow of urine. Every Men's Health article tells you to do them. Build that pelvic floor strength. But here's what the research shows and what urologists know but rarely explain. If you have premature ejaculation, strengthening your pelvic floor can actually make it worse. Wait, what? Yeah. When you have premature ejaculation, your pelvic floor muscles are already chronically tense. They're locked up tighter than a banker's wallet. When you approach ejaculation, those muscles contract involuntarily, and because they're already overactive, they trigger ejaculation too quickly. Doing standard Kegels is like going to the gym to treat a muscle that's constantly cramping. You don't need to make it stronger. You need to teach it to relax. If you like what we do here, please comment and smash that like button. If you're tired of vague advice about sexual health, subscribe and hit the bell because we're tackling topics others won't talk about. Thank you. And now, back to our topic. The science break. How does it work? Dr. Andrew Kegel, a urologist who's published research on this, explains it like this. Imagine your pelvic floor is like a car with the parking brake always partially engaged. Standard Kegels just tighten that brake more. What you need is to learn how to release the brake on command. A study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that men who learned pelvic floor relaxation techniques lasted an average of 4.5 times longer than before training. Not 10%, not 20%, 4.5 times longer. The actual technique, the how-to. So here's how you do reverse pelvic floor training. Step 1. Find your pelvic floor. First, you need to locate the muscles we're working with. Next time you urinate, try stopping the flow midstream. Those muscles you just clenched, that's your pelvic floor. Don't make a habit of stopping urination. We're just identifying the muscles. It's also the same muscle you use when you want to stop a fart. Same muscle. Step 2. Learn the reverse Kegel. This is where it gets interesting. Instead of clenching those muscles, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to actively relax and slightly push them out. It's like the gentle push you do at the start of urination, but controlled. Sit or lie comfortably. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, gently push your pelvic floor downward, like you're very gently trying to start urinating or having a bowel movement, but don't actually do either. You should feel your pelvic floor muscles relax and descend slightly. Hold this relaxed state for 5 seconds. Breathe normally, then release and rest for 10 seconds. Step 3. Practice the on-off control. This is crucial. You need to train your ability to switch between tension and relaxation rapidly. Clench your pelvic floor, regular Kegel, for 2 seconds. Immediately do a reverse Kegel, relax and push out for 5 seconds. Rest for 5 seconds. Repeat 10 times. Do this 3 times per day. In the shower, before bed, during your lunch break. No one can tell you're doing it. Step 4. Apply during sex. Here's where the magic happens. During sex, when you feel yourself approaching that point of no return, usually around 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of arousal, you actively do a reverse Kegel. You relax your pelvic floor instead of tensing it. This is counterintuitive. Every instinct in your body says clench and hold on. But clenching is what triggers ejaculation. Relaxing interrupts the reflex. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds mental. How does relaxing help me last longer? Think of it like this. Ejaculation is a reflex triggered by muscle contractions. When those muscles are constantly tense, they're primed to fire at the slightest provocation. By training them to relax on command, you're essentially lowering the sensitivity of the trigger. Plus, relaxed pelvic floor muscles reduce overall arousal intensity by a small amount. Not so much that you lose your erection, but just enough to keep you below that ejaculatory threshold longer. The complete protocol. For this method to work properly, you need 3 components. Component 1, daily reverse Kegel training. 5 minutes, 3 times daily. Component 2, arousal awareness. Learn to recognize your arousal scale from 1 to 10. Most men with premature ejaculation aren't even aware they've hit 8 or 9 until it's too late. Start rating your arousal level during solo sessions. Component 3, breathing control. When you do reverse Kegels during sex, pair them with deep belly breathing. Breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6 counts. Slow breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, which naturally lowers arousal. Combine all 3. When you hit 7 out of 10, slow down slightly, do a reverse Kegel, and take 3 deep breaths. Your arousal will drop to a 5 or 6. Then you can continue. Now, this technique works brilliantly on its own, but here's something I've discovered. If you combine pelvic floor training with the right nutritional support, the results can be even more dramatic. Certain natural compounds have been shown to support healthy blood flow, reduce performance anxiety, and promote better control. Here's something worth knowing. If you've been feeling frustrated or even embarrassed about changes in bedroom performance, sensitivity, stamina, or desire, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. There's a 100% natural solution that's already helped thousands of men feel confident and energized again. No pills, no injections, no procedures, no surgery, no risky shortcuts. Just a simple, easy home remedy you can make at home, designed to support what researchers are now calling the manhood molecule, a key factor for arousal, blood flow, and lasting power. Find out more. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. I've put together a resource below where you can check out a natural supplement that combines these ingredients specifically for bedroom performance. Combined with the techniques I've just taught you, it could be the 1-2 punch that transforms your sex life. Realistic expectations. The first week, you might not notice much. By week 2, you should start feeling more control. By week 4, most men report significant improvements. We're talking about multiplying your stamina several times over. The key is consistency. Your pelvic floor has been operating one way for years, possibly decades. You're retraining deep-seated muscle memory. But the men who stick with it? They report not just lasting longer, but enjoying sex more because they're not constantly in panic mode. Call to action. Right, here's what I want you to do after this video. First, go check out that supplement link below if you want to supercharge your results with natural nutritional support. Second, start your reverse Kegel training today. Set 3 alarms on your phone: morning, midday, and evening. 5 minutes each session. Third, subscribe to this channel because very soon I'm dropping a video on the psychological side of premature ejaculation, the mental techniques that elite performers use to maintain control under pressure. And fourth, leave a comment below telling me if you've struggled with premature ejaculation and if this information was helpful. Your comment helps other men realize they're not alone in this. Closing recap. Let's recap what we've covered. Premature ejaculation affects 1 in 3 men. It's common, it's treatable, and you don't need to live with it. The controversial method that actually works: reverse Kegel training. Instead of strengthening an already tense pelvic floor, you learn to relax it on command. Combined with arousal awareness and breathing control, this technique can multiply your lasting time by 4 to 5 times within a month. The 3 daily components: reverse Kegel exercises, arousal scale awareness, and deep breathing during sex. That's it. No pills, no numbing creams, no stopping every 30 seconds. This works because you're addressing the root cause, an overactive pelvic floor reflex, instead of just masking symptoms. Your sex life doesn't have to be a source of anxiety and embarrassment. With the right technique and a bit of consistent practice, you can take back control. If you got value from this, please share it with a man who may be suffering in silence. It could change his life. The video on your screen right now? That's your next step. Click it. Keep learning. Keep improving. Now get out there and show them what you've learned.